Now on River Region Evening Edition, the president takes action and finally uses his veto pen. ISIS militants kidnap hundreds of Syrians from their villages. And a local police chief is arrested after threatening workers at bars.
News from around the world, across the nation, and here in the River Region. This is the award-winning Student Newscast, coming to you live from Southern Illinois University. River Region Evening Edition begins now.
President Obama kept his promise and vetoed the Keystone Pipeline bill this afternoon. Good evening, I'm Zach Barrett.
And I'm Robin Tinker. The president vetoed the bill that had passed both houses of Congress earlier this month. This veto is the first time the president exercised his veto power in 5 years. A short time later, Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell pledged to override the veto within a week. The pipeline would connect tar sand crude oil in Alberta, Canada, an existing pipeline in Nebraska. It would allow energy company TransCanada to pump oil to refineries in the Midwest and Gulf Coast. Terrorists stormed a Syrian village and kidnapped as many as 100 Christians. The Islamic terrorist group stormed the northeastern village of Tal Tamar. The ISIS militants abducted children, women, and the elderly. However, nearly 700 families escaped the onslaught, with 600 of them taking refuge in a cathedral in northeastern Syria. The struggle is not over for those who escaped. Many are looking for shelter, food, water, and other basic necessities. As Black History Month nearly comes to an end, an SIU organization hopes to instill Black togetherness to reach beyond February. Reporter Simone Woolridge has more.
Thug, ghetto, rapper, athlete. Just a few stereotypes some of these African American students have heard from conflicting faces. The Association of Black Psychologists hosted its annual Don't Believe the Hype event, a function intended to address cultural issues around the world. Students were able to express themselves through skits, dances, songs, and their overall voices. Organizations across campus came together to break the mold. Now, through these doors, students were able to describe their passions, hurt, and fears through props like these to get their point across. Poems were read, acts were played, and songs were sung to portray what African American students can do to rise above and express who they really are.
Like, I just see everybody as souls. Like, I don't see anybody as what their color is, what they wear, what the judgmental ways is looking at people. Like, it's just, I'm just saying, like, I'm just me.
Independent blank faces are exactly what the performers wanted the audience to see. Sophomore Brianna Rogers, originally from Memphis, says her down south pre-connotations follows her every day. But she says there are many ways to move forward.
We have to be okay with communicating with one another. If we can't, talk about the things that makes us different, then, we're going to sit around and put circles and labels on them.
The annual event promoted Black excellence, sister encouragement, and change. For Evening Edition, I'm Simone Woolridge.
Although this was the last big event of the year for the Psychologist organization, they welcome new faces to their weekly meetings held every Tuesday in the Lawson Building, room 101.
Putting salt on the roads helps keep drivers safe, but what's it doing to your vehicle? The salt not only makes vehicles dirty, but it can also affect the car mechanically. Components such as the brakes on vehicles can be compromised if the salt is not removed quickly. While nothing can be done to prevent salt from getting on your car, owner of Today's Technology in Carbondale, Todd Darnstead, said care for your vehicle after the winter storm is important.
Your vehicle, especially after there has been a snow or an ice event where you can physically see salt trucks out on the road and they're spreading salt on the road.
Arnstead goes on to say if you don't want to get out into the cold to wash your car, at least go through an automated car wash that cleans underneath your vehicle. Touch of Nature has connected nearby trails and opening them to the public. Clearing with student workers starts for the first time on Sunday in March, and the public is encouraged to volunteer. They're clearing trails to tempt people to go hiking.
It's very rewarding to see something that you've built with your hands, and gives a lot of folks a chance to enjoy the place. If you're coming in as a regular member of the public who just wants to go hiking for a beautiful spot, that's it.
If you're interested in becoming a volunteer, you can call Touch of Nature at 618-453-1121. Well, we saw some bright skies today, some nice temperatures.
Definitely. And we may have some increasing temperatures in the days ahead. Courtney has our first look on weather.
Absolutely. Well, that sun was out today, which is something we haven't been seeing for quite a while. And the temperature is at about 30 today. So actually it felt nice and warm, which we wouldn't have thought before some of those sub-zero temperatures rolled around. Tonight we'll have a low of 18 degrees, which really isn't too cool compared to what we've been experiencing. By morning 20 and by midday 35 degrees. So another what will seem like a warm day compared to what we have been experiencing tomorrow. But some possible snow in my later forecast, and you better prepare for some more ice on its way, but a possible warm up on its way for the weekend as well. Stick around for my full forecast to figure out those full details.
Thank you, Courtney. Another woman has stepped forward claiming Bill Cosby sexually assaulted her.
And 6 new river boats will soon take passengers up and down the Mississippi.
A University of Illinois at Chicago student accused of sexual assault during an encounter in his dorm room. 19-year-old Muhammad Hussain is charged with aggravated criminal sexual assault after attempting to reenact scenes from the film 50 Shades of Grey. Hussain allegedly choked the woman and then covered her eyes before the alleged sexual assault. Hussain is accused of striking the woman with a belt and his fists. Hussain's attorney said in court Monday that her client believed the encounter was consensual. He's being held on $500,000 bond.
Judge John Kennedy is expected to try 21-year-old Parkland College students Reginald James Scott of Champaign and Daniel Gonzalez of Cicero. The two are accused in the slaying of 20-year-old Vincent Mundo. On January 25th, Mundo was shot in a parking garage of his Champaign apartment while attempting to flee an armed robbery. Mundo was found 6 days later south of Savoy. Kennedy was granted Gonzalez's attorney request for a new judge. He assigned the case to Judge Heidi Ladd. Bond for both men has been set at $2 million each.
3 years after the death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, the Justice Department confirms that no charges will be held against George Zimmerman. The case reappeared as Florida prosecutors attempted to charge him with manslaughter and murder. The jury claims the prosecutors did not have enough evidence to prove to the court. Protesters continue to seek justice and spread awareness of Martin's death.
A police chief of a small southern Illinois town has been arrested on charges of intimidation and official misconduct. Orient's police chief Joe Brown is accused by the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for threatening people with a gun at 2 different bars on Saturday night. He was later arrested on Monday. Authorities say that the owner of one of the bars has also filed a restraining order against Brown. Orient Mayor Pete Wickowitz stated that Brown has been suspended and asked to resign. Wickowitz also recommended to Orient City Council that Brown should be fired if he does not step down within the next week.
And another victim has come forward accusing Bill Cosby of sexual assault in 1984. Haiti Thomas says she was an aspiring actress when agent Amy Maloney contacted her, saying actor Bill Cosby was looking for a young person to mentor. Thomas flew out to Reno, Nevada, where Cosby was performing. Thomas says when she arrived, she was taken to a house outside of Reno to meet with Cosby. Once there, Cosby gave Thomas alcohol and sexually assaulted her. Thomas has remained silent until now, saying she felt that maybe her story could help create a culture that listens.
Some new river boats will be sailing up and down the Mississippi River. Viking River Cruises plans to put 6 boats on the Mississippi that can hold up to 300 cruise passengers. Viking is well known in Europe and Asia, where the line specializes in river cruises. The boats will be based in New Orleans, the first American port for the company, and the river boats will make stops in St. Louis, Memphis, and St. Paul beginning in 2017.
The first lawsuit associated to the superbug bacterial infections was filed Monday. 2 patients have died and not least 5 others have been infected with the deadly bacterial bug. Court documents express the suit is in fact against the manufacturer of the endoscopic equipment and not the hospital itself. Other patients have also been notified that they should be screened for the bacteria known as CRE. A spokeswoman said 2 medical scopes were not cleaned thoroughly, that they are typically reused during routine exams. The FDA is advising healthcare workers across the U.S. to clean the instruments more carefully.
The U.S. Supreme Court will hear a case next week that challenges health insurance. This health insurance plan will make coverage more affordable to more than 250,000 Illinois residents. The issue rests on the interpretation of 4 words in President Barack Obama's health care law. The challengers argue the law provides assistance to only people who get their insurance. Many states, including Illinois, rely on the federal health care system through the state.
Well, we had a nice day out with some fair temperatures and some sunny skies. We'll look at what to expect from the weather for the next 5 days next.
And positive comments about the economy by the Fed chair sent stocks to record highs this afternoon. See the full coverage on that on the Nightly Business Report at 5:30.
Mic check.
Let's see.
Do you ever Do you ever wonder what goes on behind the scenes when you flip on ESPN, SportsCenter, or even Sluky All Access? Well, here at SC.
Absolutely. Well, we had some nice sunny skies out there today, and it seemed almost warm compared to what we have been putting up with. Unfortunately, we'll have some more snow later on in the week and some single-digit nights still to come, but hopefully there will be warmer temperatures in the weekend. Actually, not hopefully, for sure there will be, and we're hoping that those will stick around into next week. Right now, we're looking at about 30 degrees out there. Probably a high of 31 is what we reached today. Pretty mild temperatures anyway, or they seem mild compared to what we have been dealing with, but earlier on, probably a month ago, we would not have considered this mild at all. Luckily, we will be reaching above freezing tomorrow to still help melt some of that snow and ice. As you can see, we're about in the middle here today. We dealt with 30 degrees, so our average high is 48, so well below average, but the average low is 27, so we're more around the average low. But we're nowhere near that record high or low, which is great because we would not have wanted to deal with 6 degrees today. It was nice to have that sun to remind us that we still have a little warmth and that it will be coming later on. Belleville 41 degrees, all the way up there compared to us at 30 degrees, what felt like about 20. So we are still feeling a lot cooler because of that mild wind. Even though it's only about 5 miles per hour, it's still enough to cool you off whenever you're talking low enough temperatures. Paducah down to 29, feeling like 19. So Belleville's a lot higher than what we're dealing with anyway. Maybe they got a little more sun than what we've been dealing with, even though we had a nice amount. As you can see, there's a lot of freezing rain to our east, but we're dealing with none of those large low pressure systems. You can see heavy snow to our south and our north, but we're kind of in the safe zone is what it looks like. So if you thought maybe you had a reason to complain today, at least you have something to be happy about, that we weren't dealing with any of that really heavy snow today. A nice viewer photo shows that that snow is melting. It's off the roads, which I'm sure you noticed, but walking is still a little bit of trouble on some parking lots because any snow that was there, any rain that was there is now hardened, so you had to make sure that you watched your footing, and unfortunately that's going to be true throughout the next few days. But throughout the weekend we're looking at a high of up to 40. Tonight a low of 18 degrees with still mild winds, but it's enough to cool you off anyway with temperatures that cool. By tomorrow a high all the way up to 35, which is going to feel fantastic. Partly cloudy skies, so at least we'll have a hint of that sun again. And by tomorrow night a low of only 21, which is going to seem nice, but unfortunately that snow is rolling in. About a 30% chance of snow tomorrow night, but hopefully it will be less than an inch. We're not looking at anything more than that at this time. Thursday a high of 28 degrees and that low dipping all the way down to 6 degrees as that snow rolls in. Like I said, less than an inch. Friday high of 21 with a low all the way down to 8. Saturday we're warming up to what will feel warm at 31, and Sunday all the way up to 41, but unfortunately a wintry mix, about 50 to 60% chance. So make sure that you're preparing for that because that stuff will probably freeze over a little bit, but hopefully it'll be melting. We're all the way up to 41, so there's something to look forward to.
I just hope those temperatures come back soon.
Yeah, I hope they stick around.
Thank you, Courtney.
You're welcome.
The SIU women's tennis team played Eastern Illinois last night in an exciting matchup.
And the Chicago Bulls are on fire as they went neck and neck with the Milwaukee Bucks last night. Sydney Kessler is here with more in sports. Sydney.
Well, the SIU swimming and diving team just can't seem to keep their names out of the headlines. The men's golf teams are currently in Arizona as they're hoping to push through their unlucky streak. And if you've ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes of your TV screen, we've got some news for you. Now don't touch that remote. I'll be back in just less than 90 seconds.
And now the latest scores and highlights from across the River Region. This is Evening Edition Sports.
Well, the women's tennis team snapped a 6-match losing streak by defeating Eastern Illinois in a 5-2 victory. The Salukis won with strong performances in doubles, coming away with wins in the number 1 and number 3 positions. The women also left the courts with 4 single wins as well. The Salukis are now 2-6 for the season and undefeated at home. The Dogs will be playing at home again on Friday to face Austin Peay at 4:30, followed by Northern Illinois on Saturday at 9 a.m. All home matches will be played at the Garden Grove Events Center in Carbondale. The SAU men's and women's swimming and diving team simply can't and won't stop making headlines. Both teams were just named Scholar All-American teams for the fall 2014 semester by the CSCAA. The men's program posted a cumulative GPA of 3.48, which was good enough for third nationally among Division I swimming and diving programs, trailing only behind Grand Canyon and Yale University. The women's program posted a 3.49 GPA for the semester, ranking them 22nd nationally. And when you tally the two together, the team's combined GPA of 6.97 was third highest nationally, and again, only behind Yale and Grand Canyon University. The men's golf team had a rough start to their season, and the current tournament in Goodyear, Arizona isn't helping. After day 2 of the Snowman getaway, the Dogs seemed to be in a deep freeze as they slipped 2 spots to 16th place out of 17. Southern shot a team score of 311 in round 2 after cutting a 305 on the first day. The top player of the day 2 was Andrew Mitchell, who shot a 3 over par 75. He recorded 4 bogeys, 1 birdie, and parred the rest of the course, tying him for 50th place out of 100 golfers. The next time the Dogs meet up will be at the UT Martin Grover Page Classic in Tennessee on March 9th to the 10th. Now, do you ever wonder what goes on behind the scenes when you flip on ESPN, SportsCenter, or even Saluki All Access? Well, here at SIU, students are able to participate and even get jobs in these behind-the-scenes careers. Every semester, students are able to take classes in media and sports production. Here, these future producers, directors, and videographers help broadcast some of the SIU sporting events that occur throughout the year.
Saluki Athletics has partnered with the School of Mass Communications to create this class that basically allows for students to have a chance to get hands-on experience working all kinds of different live sporting events, whether it's volleyball, whether it's men's basketball, women's basketball, football, baseball, softball. There's a little bit of everything.
Tune in Thursday at 5 to hear more about the video service program on the monthly edition of Saluki Sports View. Although the weather might not be an indicator, baseball season is soon approaching, and things have certainly heated up for the Chicago Cubs this past winter. After an 89-loss season, Cubs president Theo Epstein made some major improvements across the board this past offseason. To go along with power performers Starlin Castro and Anthony Rizzo, Chicago added some much-needed star power. Manager Joe Madden, Miguel Montro, Dexter Fowler, and most notably two-time World Series champ John Lester will be joining the Cubs this spring. Currently, the lovable losers have 14-1 odds to win the World Series this season, giving hope to the fans that the curse may finally be broken. Well, hockey fans, believe it or not, the season is halfway over. The St. Louis Blues have been all around the nation lately in hopes of a Stanley Cup ending. However, the Blues lost their last game to Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-2. St. Louis will attempt to rebound off their previous loss as they take on the Montreal Canadiens tonight in St. Louis at 8 p.m. Now moving north, the Chicago Blackhawks are currently on a 3-game slump as they have lost to Detroit, Colorado, and Boston. The Hawks will be taking on the Florida Panthers tonight at home in hopes of breaking their 3-game losing skid. The puck drops at 8:30 p.m. And the Chicago Bulls are proving to be a force in the Eastern Conference as the team won its 6th out of the last 7 games. Now we're going to jump here into the 4th quarter of the game. Aaron Brooks drives to the basket, puts his shot as high. Luckily, though, Jimmy Butler is there for the putback slam. Later on the 4th quarter, Derrick Rose is trying to inbound the pass and dishes a beautiful assist to Joakim Noah for the easy slam dunk. Rose driving up the basket, gets caught up in traffic, but dishes it to Nikolai Meritek for the shot from downtown. Look at him. He's on fire this game. And he should be, as the Bulls would go on to win 87-71.
Thank you, Sydney. We'll be looking forward to Saluki Sports View on Thursday, too.
Yeah, definitely be sure to turn into that. It's going to be a great show.
All right. Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you, guys.
Coming up, we're going to have a final look at what's going on with the weather.
And a lucky guy who wins over $200 million from a $5 quick pick.
Here are some of the stories making news in the days ahead. The Spring 2015 Career Fair begins tomorrow in the Student Center ballrooms. A campus drag show will be held Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Student Center, and our first Saluki Sports View of the semester is this Thursday. So join us Monday through Thursday at 5 for River Region Evening Edition.
A 70-year-old professional driver won the largest prize in Illinois history. Jesus Davila Jr. won $265 million to win the Mega Millions jackpot. So we could get a quick review. Back to Courtney with a quick cap of weather.
Yeah, well, we had a nice sunny day today, but unfortunately the most sun we'll be seeing is some partly cloudy skies throughout the rest of the week and some possible chances of snow. But as you can see, that warm up will probably help melt that snow. We hope so. So stay hopeful, and hopefully all that salt will take care of everything soon.
Everything's melting right now, so
definitely.
I'm happy for that. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you, Courtney.
And thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. I'm Zach Barrett.
And I'm Robin Tinker for Courtney Bundy, City Counselor, and more than 100 students who work on Evening Edition. Good night.